Lesson 22. What I see is a form of vengeance. What I see is a form of vengeance. What do you think that means? Like, what I see, what I see with my eyes, what I experience is a form of vengeance? What the Course is saying, and I'm going to insert another word, what I see with the eyes of my ego is a form of vengeance. It's saying that there is a dynamic happening inside of us that we're not always aware of. And I'm going to give you an example. You walk into a room and suddenly you feel judged. You don't know why. No one is looking at you. No one has said anything to you. But somehow you're already on the defense and you may say, oh, it's a vibe that I'm feeling in this room. What is going on? What are people thinking of me? It's somehow, how am I coming across? So you make it about you in that moment, and you might actually be prepared to be on the defense. So if any comment comes your way that could be just a comment that could have multiple meanings, you may interpret it as being an attack, a threat to you. So that dynamic is happening all the time. That is what the Course is saying. That we are projecting out a perception that we have based off of this default of feeling on the defense and being ready for attack. And so that's what's called attack thoughts. How do you overcome these attack thoughts? It's actually very simple, but it's a practice that's needed over and over and over again. As you monitor your thoughts, you develop what Tony Robbins calls a global belief. Now, I'm going to take it a little bit further because this global belief can have a temporal definition, one that makes sense in our world, and it can also have a more metaphysical definition, one that makes sense at the higher states of our soul. Let's start with the temporal. The belief is, I cannot be threatened. I cannot be attacked. So anything that comes my way, like Miguel Ruiz says, I don't take personally because it's not about me. Whatever comes my way, the event itself is neutral. What I impose on it may not be, but it is not because of me that this action is happening. Doesn't mean that you don't take responsibility for your own actions and your own thoughts. But if someone comes at you with, for example, anger, you know that there could be a myriad of things that are going on that even though they may be directing it towards you, just like you at times have directed your anger towards someone else and then realize something else was going on. It wasn't about the other person. There was something deeper going on. Same thing could be happening. The person could be under stress. The person could be feeling threatened in their own right. And then they come at you with that energy and you decide how you're going to deal with it. But if you adopt the global belief that I cannot be attacked, I cannot be threatened, then you already cut off the energy. You see yourself as innocent. You see yourself as someone that has good intentions, that is positive. And you start from that premise, and then the energy that you're getting from that person, you start to perceive it differently. And so then you're not going to project out that attack energy back to them. It won't be that cycle. You'll break the cycle. The reason why I said that there is also a complementary definition at the metaphysical level is because you might say to me, well, Dennis, yeah, that works just fine, except what if I actually get attacked? What if there's a violent action? What if someone comes at me physically? What if I'm in danger? Understood. However, at the metaphysical level, and the Course would say, your soul, since it never left heaven, your soul, since it's purely whole, your soul cannot be threatened. My soul cannot be attacked. The physical body can be attacked, and I have that experience in this dimension, in this realm of the body being attacked. But my soul cannot be. So I'm just going to invite you to explore that cutoff of the vicious cycle by saying, I cannot be threatened. It's impossible for me to be attacked. And see then how that energetic dynamic that happens between you and others starts to change. You couple that with the idea that everyone shares that same innocence. And everyone, when they are less than their best selves, are seeking correction, are in error, but they are, in essence, in nature, good. And so you start from that premise, and the dynamic of the relationship completely shifts and changes. The Course says to take some few minutes and look around. I think it's 5 minutes, for a minute at a time. Look around your surrounding and say to yourself 4 statements. They are: I see only the perishable, because everything that you see is corruptible. It's not going to last. I see nothing that will last is the second statement. What I see is not real. What I see is a form of vengeance. And then when you're done with the 5 minutes, the last thing you would say is this the world I really want to see? Is this the world I really want to see? Reminds me of the quote from the Bible. Oh, goodness. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added unto you. And another quote, do not be conformed to the things of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. This is a retraining of the mind. It all starts with our thinking and our perceiving. And when you work at that level, you're working on the projector before you then experience the projection. So that's lesson 22, and I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 23.